Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from Crown Point High School as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of the Indiana High School Boys Basketball Tournament as the Lake Central Indians take on the Crown Point Bulldogs in the Class 4A Sectional 1 opener. I'm Leo Staudaher, and I'll have the play-by-play for tonight's action. Joining me with the color analysis is Doug Nelson. Good evening, Doug. It has been a fun first couple games of the sectional round, and now we have two Duneland foes meeting in the championship in the Bulldogs and the Indians.
Correct, and you have two teams that are very familiar with each other, but we'll see what adjustments are made and who can bounce back after an exciting evening last night and try to get it done here tonight.
It's two teams that have had different paths to get to the sectional championship. You look at the Crown Point Bulldogs, 21-1 on the season, 7-0 in Duneland play. They punched their ticket to the championship with a 76-24 win versus Hammond Central last night. Versus on the other end of the floor, the Lake Central Indians, 13-11 on the year, 1-6 in Duneland play. They make it to the sectional championship by way of a 51-48 win over Munster last night. Led by the heroic three-quarter shot by Cooper Kroenke at the buzzer to get the win for the Indians over the Mustangs. Prior to that, they defeated Morton 62-25 on Tuesday. So you have a Crown Point team that handled business in the semifinal, and then a Lake Central team that needed some last-second heroics to make it through a tough Munster team. Both teams playing on a quick turnaround tonight.
Yeah, for that alone, anything can happen. Crown Point's been rolling since they lost to Gary 21st Century at the end of January, winning by about 30 points a game. So, they've really, as we mentioned last night, that loss kind of came at a good time from them, and they've really got their attention. And Coach Swan and his staff have got them playing really hard right now, and that's what you need at this time of the year.
Yeah, with 7 straight wins dating back to January, they've not only been lighting up the scoreboard offensively, but they've been doing a really good job of keeping teams, in a lot of cases, under 40 points, in some cases under 30 points in these games. So what stands out to you about Crown Point with that defense that's been potentially helping out that offense as well?
I just think they're connected. They're playing connected, and they're playing engaged. We've seen them a few times this year, and quite honestly, there's been a couple times we've seen them that they just didn't look engaged. They looked like they were kind of not going through the motions, but not all in, bought in, connected, in sync. And right now, Coach Swan and his assistant coaches have really got them playing hard. And we've all seen enough games. You win and lose games on the defensive end, and then the offense, especially as how they play. Their defense leads to their offense, which they want to get out and run and light it up. So. That alone has been the reason, I think, for their turnaround here at the end of the year.
And then for Lake Central, this is a team that they've had some ebbs and flows throughout the season, sitting around 500 to start the postseason, and now winning their last two. Could last night's win with that emotional, thrilling last-second win, could that be something that this Lake Central team could use to band together and face another tough opponent in Crown Point?
Yeah, no question. Especially Enyart was in a lot of foul trouble in the first half, and a lot of guys had to step up and really contribute in the first half, and they kind of proved to themselves that they can. So that might be an issue here tonight where they have to go on the bench a little bit. And, now you have guys that think they can do it. So believing you can is step one, and then going out and doing it is step two. So it's possible. Anything. That's why this tournament is what it is. Any given night, anything can happen.
So we have two local rivals getting ready to play on the hardwood here with a trophy on the line. We will step aside. When we come back, we will continue to preview this matchup between the Bulldogs and the Indians. So stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Strachan-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan-Manteau.
Headquartered in Griffith, Indiana, Absolute Power Systems has been delivering top-notch service since 2004, with a team of skilled technicians boasting extensive training on some of the biggest names in the business, like Cummins, Caterpillar, John Deere, Volvo, and more. They focus on providing exceptional industrial engine service and generator power system maintenance and repair. Check them out on the web at AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
The Game Night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast in Crown Point, it is 44 degrees, although the wind conditions up to 28 miles per hour are making the temperature feel like 32 degrees. The temperatures will continue to rise, though, throughout the next couple days to the mid-60s. That's the Friday night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. So Leo Staudaher, Doug Nelson with you as we continue to preview tip-off between Crown Point and Lake Central as we get to take a look at the Crown Point Bulldogs averaging 75 points per game, allowing just 51. They've been led by the UIC commit and Dikembe Shaw, averaging 18 points per game, but the lineup goes much deeper than Shaw for Crown Point as they have several players, as you mentioned, that rotation that can really score when he's facing those tough matchups.
Yeah, and you're going to need that this time of the year. You know, whether it's a turned ankle or just a bump or foul trouble. You go 8 or 9, number 8 or 9 guy on the bench, and they have guys that there's not much fall off. There's really not, and that's we've seen that in other programs where it really does fall off, and I think that's what's really helped Coach Swan here this year.
And then on the other end of the floor, the Indians of Lake Central. They've been averaging 55 points per game, allowing 51, so they've played in a lot of close games this year. And this is a group that features a good senior class and a couple underclassmen that factor in as well. But they're led up top by Noah Enyart, Jacob Billmeyer, as well as some production from Christian Martinez and David Aguilera.
Yeah, Martinez had a big night last night. He had about 5-6 points, but it was a timely 5 or 6 points. He did really well.
As the teams get ready for the national anthem, we will have that and the introduction of the starting lineups from both teams. So we will take a brief pause for that. When we come back, we will preview the matchup further. So stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT. On-site.
We are back at Crown Point High School as we get ready for tip-off for the sectional championship between the Bulldogs and the Indians here, as we'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more information, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business, absolutely. So for the Bulldogs, it'll be Rhodes, Darrell, Peters, Shaw, and Mulaski on the floor. This is a Crown Point group that, as you mentioned, Doug, has really been firing on all cylinders these last few games. Did not drop a game in February, and they'll look to keep it rolling tonight in March.
Yeah, and I think, I was kind of doing a little bit of homework. Winning the last two sectionals as opposed to Lake Central, it's been about 10 years since Lake Central's won the sectional. So Crown Point's been in these lights, they've been in this pressure, so nothing's going to be new to them as far as what they're going through emotionally.
These are two teams that did meet in the sectional round last year. It was Crown Point who would put an end to Lake Central's season the Bulldogs picked up the win 52-36 about a year ago, so the Indians could have revenge on the mind. A lot of seniors in this LC team did play in that game a year ago, so look to try to provide spoiler here for the Bulldogs.
Another thing, they all know each other.
Right.
You know, they've grown up playing each other ever since middle school, probably youth league before that. So, you know, again, there's no secrets here, and it just comes down to who can put the ball in the basket here for the next 32 minutes.
For the Indians on the floor, it'll be Kroenke, Martinez, Aguilera, Billmeyer, and Enyart. Lake Central will be going from our right to our left. They're wearing white uniforms with blue numbers, blue stripes down the side, while the Bulldogs, they'll be going from our left to our right. They wear red jerseys with white numbers, white stripes down the sides and along the sleeves, playing in front of their home crowd, even though this would be technically a neutral matchup as Crown Point wearing their red uniforms. But we are ready for basketball here as Shaw and Enyart go for the tip. Shaw wins it backward where Rhodes scoops it up. The Bulldogs start with the basketball.
Yeah, Lake Central last night played really hard in your face man-to-man, and that's what they're starting out with here tonight.
Molaski heaves it down low to Shaw. He works in the paint, faces a crowd. It squeaks out to Peters at the left side. They work it right side to Darrell. He cuts forward, goes to Shaw. He cranks up a three-pointer. It goes off the back iron, but Rhodes grabs the rebound. He works the left-handed dribble along the perimeter, pulls up from the elbow. It rattles off the back iron. It's loose on the floor where Billmeyer is able to secure it.
Yeah, these first few minutes here are just nerves. Who can play through the nerves and try to execute under the pressure, as I was mentioning.
David Aguilera skips it to Enyart. He tries a top side three-pointer, and it goes right down the middle.
Good start for Lake Central.
It's a quick 3-0 lead for the Indians with just over 7 minutes to play as Peters handles the rock for the Bulldogs on the near side. Gets it to Shaw at the logo. Left side, it's Darrell. He cuts forward, works his way to the post, tosses it up with the left hand, and it rolls in. The Bulldogs strike back.
Yeah, Mason Darrell played really well last night, and that's a great start for him going to the basket, not settling.
Billmeyer from the left side gets it to Enyart. Enyart takes it to the right, spins his way inside the arc, slowly creeps into the post. He gets stood up by Molaski, and Molaski rips it away. Right side, Darrell fakes the three-pointer, cuts to the post. Up top to Peters for three. It spins out, no good. Retrieved by Enyart. The Indians have the ball. So here comes across midcourt Aguilera. Quick handoff to Kroenke, who was the hero at the buzzer last night. Billmeyer, pump fake to his left, goes to his right. Aguilera takes it. Drops it to Martinez. Martinez angles forward, was looking for Enyart in the paint. He loses it, but recovers, tosses it up, but it was short. Molaski was able to settle things down for Crown Point.
Yeah, Molaski had great help side defense, too. He helped and recovered, got back to his guy.
Skipping his way through the paint is Mason Darrell with the left-handed layup, and the Bulldogs take a 4-3 lead with 5:45 left to play in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I think he might be due for a big night. Like I said earlier, he had a really nice game last night.
Enyart connects with Billmeyer at the left side. He's guarded by Shaw. Takes a couple steps forward, now circles back. Goes to the right to Martinez. The sophomore averaging just over 6.5 points per game. Finds a lane, goes forward, knocks it in off the window. Good for two.
Yeah, through contact. I like the physicality of both ends of the floor right now. I'm kind of wondering when Crown Point's going to start trapping and picking them up in the maybe three-quarter court.
It's a 5-4 lead for Lake Central as Darrell goes forward, but it's an offensive foul. He was dribbling with the left hand, used the right hand to push off of Kroenke, and it's a foul on Darrell.
Yeah, again, I think it's going to be a real physical game. They're making Shaw work for points. If I'm guarding Dikembe Shaw, that's what I'm going to do. If I'm going to make him work really hard to get the ball, and then when he gets it, I'm going to send 2 or 3 people to him all night long.
Reinforcements off the bench for Crown Point as Michael Wilson enters the game. Billmeyer crosses the timeline for Lake Central, gets it to Enyart at the point. Enyart driving through the right post, lets it fly. It goes over the basket, rolls away. Now the Bulldogs are on the move. Here's Rhodes. Right side, Peters. His three-point attempt. Rattles off the front iron. No good. Aguilera gets the rebound, but then Shaw was right behind him, jabs it away, and it goes out of bounds to the scorer's table.
Yeah, well, again, I just think they're so disruptive with their speed and length, Crown Point, and it's just hard to execute your clean half-court game plan.
Lake Central inbounds it. They lead 5-4 with 4:35 to play in the first quarter. Rhodes pokes it away from Aguilera, keeps it in bounds, heaves it down the floor to Shaw. Shaw gets it to Peters, who's on the move. Peters with some nice moves through the paint, but the ball goes over the cup, no good.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage of Crown Point. The guard play of Crown Point, in my opinion, is better than the guard play of Lake Central, and I think that the ball pressure they can put on is really a problem for Lake Central.
Enyart hands it over to Martinez. He rolls from left to right and then scoops it up for two. Martinez makes it a 3-point lead for Lake Central.
And as I say that, the defense gets a blow-by. So
Darrell with a step-back three-pointer from the right corner. Takes a high carom off the iron. It's loose on the floor. Kroenke chases it down. He weaves his way up the court, goes
nice
left side to Billmeyer, who drops it in for two. And just like that, the Bulldogs take a timeout. Lake Central on a run here, leading 9-4 with 3:42 to play in the first quarter. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
On-Site Generator Solutions is a locally owned and operated power partner for Northwest Indiana Homes. With over 14 years of experience, they handle tasks such as generators, residential electric, plumbing, automotive care, and more. You can find them on Facebook. Give them a call at 219-516-6800 or search them up on the web at onsitegeneratorsolutions.com. On-Site Generator Solutions. Power you could count on every time, everywhere.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies, the business professionals. So with a little bit under 4 minutes to play in the opening quarter, it's Lake Central leading over Crown Point 9-4. As the Bulldogs look for an answer, they quickly get it to Peters, who finds Shaw down low. Shaw draws a double team, turns, shoots, off the front iron. Kroenke grabs the rebound.
Yeah, he can't fade away. He's got to go to the rim. He's the most athletic kid in the gym. He's got to be strong and go to the rim.
Martinez gets it to Aguilera. Plays catch with Enyart. Enyart looks for movement on the right side. Standing tall at the point. Has Wilson a step in front of him, and we have a violation on the Indians.
5-second count. It was the ref was kind of behind Enyart, so he probably couldn't see him counting the entire time. He probably didn't even know he was there.
So now the Bulldogs will look to capitalize off of the 5-second violation. Wilson gets it to Shaw at the logo. And Billmeyer will be tagged for a foul on the coverage of Shaw.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Billmeyer, he's strong. He's a strong kid. Look at his back and shoulders. They're mixing it up right now. But, again, that's what I would be doing all night, try to get in Shaw's head and make it hard on him.
So the Bulldogs get ready for a far side inbound just in front of the bleachers. Thank you for joining us, however you may be. On the Champions Network, you can find the video of our stream, but if you're on our Facebook or YouTube, this will be an audio-only broadcast. Peters hands it over to Shaw, gets it to Wilson. Wilson at the point, looks for a runner, gets it to Peters. Back to Wilson, his deep three-pointer, off the back iron. Enyart gets the rebound. Kroenke down the floor to Billmeyer. He walks the tightrope, stays in bounds, tosses it up top to Martinez. He cuts to his left. Passes to Enyart, swings it to Billmeyer. Billmeyer at the left wing, moves it to Enyart. Quick handoff back to Billmeyer. 2:26 left to play in the quarter. The Indians lead by 5. Here's Aguilera to Martinez. Right at the Crown Point logo. Crosses over to his left, then lofts it towards Enyart. The pass was off the mark. Enyart steps beyond midcourt to retrieve it. He's battling with Shaw. Shaw forces a miscue. Wilson tosses it to the basket, but he's knocked down to the floor by Enyart.
Yeah, again, we talked about the physicality. I think it's just going to get worse here. It's going to get harder and more physical, and that you can see both ends are really picking that up.
And it all started with Dikembe Shaw kind of separating Billmeyer from the basketball, and now the Bulldogs will look to capitalize here at the stripe as Michael Wilson heads to the line to shoot two. He's 29 of 38 from the free throw line this season. He will not connect on the first free throw. 2:07 left to play in the quarter.
I think Lake Central's coming out playing like they got nothing to lose, right? They're shocking the world, and that's the plan tonight. They got nothing to lose, and they're playing like their feet are on fire. I love the energy.
as Wilson drops in the second free throw. So he goes 1 for 2, makes it a 9-5 game.
Here's that pressure I was talking about, Leo.
Yeah, they send 2 at Aguilera. He breaks it, gets it to Billmeyer. His pass was nearly intercepted by Rhodes, but instead Rhodes swats it into his team's bench. So it will be a Lake Central basketball.
And he thought he had steal there. At least it's a disruption. It'll mess up the flow.
Martinez on the inbound. Sends it high to Billmeyer. He leaps up and grabs it at the logo. Billmeyer from the right side. Angles to the basket. Draws contact. There's a foul on the Bulldogs.
I mentioned it earlier, but I love the strength that Billmeyer plays with, man. He's a strong kid and plays through contact. He's doing a great job so far on both ends.
So Billmeyer will head to the line to shoot 2. The senior averaging 11.5 points per game to go with 3.5 rebounds.
He probably won't come off the court tonight either.
Right. This is a Lake Central team that typically plays about 7 players, but if there's foul trouble and whatnot, they could go deeper into that rotation. Billmeyer connects on the first free throw. Now he prepares for the second.
Yeah, Lake Central brought in a freshman, number 31, Hayden Becker. I don't think he saw the court last night.
It's an 11-5 lead for the Indians. Right side, Rhodes. And then they send it left front court to Kingston Rhodes, and there's a foul on the offense, a foul on the Bulldogs.
Well, moving screen right there at the elbow.
They got Peters for that one, so an off-ball foul on Crown Point. With 1:45 to play in the quarter, Crown Point brings in Reed Cagey, the junior, off the bench. Here's Billmeyer on the inbound from the baseline. Billmeyer looking to help break the press, and he sends it to his team's bench. Pass was off the mark. So now the Bulldogs will inbound it from the baseline underneath Lake Central's basket.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that's the pressure I thought would come earlier.
Rhodes quickly finds Cagey wide open underneath the basket. He drops it in for 2. Now on the inbound, more pressure. They get it to Kroenke. He avoids one defender. Finds Aguilera on the run. He goes coast to coast, lays it in for 2.
Nice rim run there, straight to the front of the rim. Went straight at Dikembe Shaw's chest.
13-7, Lake Central leads as KG moves along the perimeter, gets it to Kingston Rhodes. Rhodes with a left-handed dribble, switches up to the right. Finds Caden Rhodes on the left side, now hand off to KG. KG drives his way forward, it squeaks away from Kingston. It's a battle at the sideline between Kroenke and Rhodes. And it will be a Crown Point basketball, but you have to like the hustle from Cooper Kroenke to break up that play for the Bulldogs.
Kroenke, the hero from last night, but I'm looking at Billmeyer. There's Lake Central's here in a little 2-3 here zone here, Leo. A little different look.
Shaw forces his way to the basket, sends it a little bit short. No good. Shaw had 3 white jerseys around him, was still able to get the shot off, but it was low off the iron. Here's Enyart driving his way into the paint. It's a jump ball as he gets wrapped up with Darrell. And possession stays with Lake Central.
See, Martinez is going to come back in the ball game. Just those 2 or a couple minutes, those will add up and really help out down the road.
47 seconds to go as Martinez back in for Lake Central. Mulaski returns for Crown Point. Aguilera lofts it to Kroenke. He swings it to the logo to Billmeyer. Billmeyer with a left-handed dribble drive gets it to Aguilera in the front court. At the point finds Enyart. 37 seconds left to play in the quarter. Now Martinez takes it, the sophomore, swings it backward to Enyart. Enyart looks to his coach and then scans his options.
He's trying to drive here.
Enyart stood up by Mulaski, lets it fly with the right hand. It goes off the back iron, no good, rebounded by Darrell. Down the floor to Rhodes. Rhodes circles back. This is Caden Rhodes that has the ball. Rhodes holds it high, floats it to Mulaski. Mulaski swings it right side to KG. His stop and pop three-pointer is good.
Big shot there by that supporting cast. We mentioned that last night. Someone's going to have to step up for Crown Point right now.
A long half-court heave by the Indians, but this one is off the mark. So the three-pointer by KG cuts the deficit to 3 for the Bulldogs. After 8 minutes, it's Lake Central leading 13-10 over Crown Point. You're following Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
On-Site Generator Solutions is a locally owned and operated power partner for Northwest Indiana Homes. With over 14 years of experience, They handle tasks such as generators, residential electric, plumbing, automotive care, and more. You can find them on Facebook. Give them a call at 219-516-6800 or search them up on the web at onsitegeneratorsolutions.com. On-Site Generator Solutions. Power you can count on every time, everywhere.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
This scoreboard update is courtesy of your neighborhood Strackenval Food Market. Strackenval, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. The winner of this game will face the winner of the Chesterton-Valparaiso sectional. And in the second quarter, it's the Trojans leading 18-15. As we begin our sectional championship between Crown Point and Lake Central, it is the Indians leading 13-10 at the start of the second quarter. As Mulaski tries to thread the needle to Shaw, it was off the mark. It goes out of bounds at the baseline. The Indians will take over.
Yeah, Mulaski wanted a hold there on the cut by Shaw, but officials didn't see it.
Now Lake Central looks to break the press. They were trying to get it to Becker. It was just behind him, but then Enyart pokes the Crown Point pass away. The Bulldogs try to settle things down. Darrell takes over, driving from the left side, heaves it up and over, good for two. Mason Darrell brings the Bulldogs within one. 13-12, Lake Central with the lead. Becker rolls from the left side, curls in the front court, gets it to Enyart. He finds Martinez. He crosses over with a left-handed dribble. Martinez surveys his options, goes to Aguilera. Aguilera finds Kroenke, and then it's poked away by Peters. Peters driving down the floor, fills it up for two. Peters with a steal, and then the right-handed layup gives the Bulldogs a 14-13 lead.
Yeah, if Crown Point gets another hoop, I think Lake Central, Coach Sexton, there it is right there. I was going to say, they might see a timeout coming soon.
As Becker was trying to find a way to get past Shaw, the Indians will take a timeout with 6:54 to go in the second quarter. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratford Mantel was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford Mantel.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. Leo Staudaher and Doug Nelson with you on the call. Zach Miller and Martin Murillo Jr. make up the rest of our crew as we are in the Class 4A Sectional 1 Championship between Crown Point and Lake Central. Crown Point just recaptured the lead, 14-13 on that steal and score by Peters. Now we'll see Lake Central with the inbound trying to break the press from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the press, as I mentioned earlier, Crown Point's full court press is really going to be a problem for Lake Central all night.
Aguilera shakes past Darrell, gets it to Kroenke. He lofts it up towards Enyart, but Mulaski on good pass coverage breaks it up, and the Bulldogs take over. Darrell pulls up for a deep right side three-pointer. It goes off the back iron. Billmeyer grabs it with the right hand. He takes it down the floor, skips his way through the paint, and it's a foul. A foul on Billmeyer. The Crown Point fans love that one. The Lake Central fans surprised, and now the Bulldogs will have the basketball following the foul on Billmeyer, his second.
I was a little surprised as well. I mean, Mason Darrell had established leading legal defensive position, but then he slid again. You know, I don't. That's the hardest call in basketball. So bang play.
Peters brings it down the floor for Crown Point, lofts it to Mulaski. He handles at the top of the arc, gets it to Shaw, who's been held scoreless so far. Shaw Good coverage by Martinez, the sophomore, to separate him from the basketball. Martinez gets it to Kroenke. Now the Indians have it. Enyart on the left side. Pulls up from mid-range. And he fills it up for two. The Indians reclaim the lead, 15-14 at the 6-minute mark.
You can see it was a real point of emphasis. They're really being physical with Shaw. I know I said that, but he does not like that right now.
Here's Mulaski in the paint. He rolls it in for two. And back and forth we go. 16-15. Crown Point leads. Aguilera brings it over the logo. Skips it to Enyart. Quick handoff to Martinez. The sophomore being guarded by the senior in Shaw. He drifts backwards. Now cuts to the left. Follows the screen. Pulls up for three. Off the back iron. No good. It skips out of bounds in the corner. It'll be a Crown Point possession.
Leo, you also wonder, with Lake Central having to play so hard last night, when does that fatigue start kicking in, right? The beginning of the game, all the adrenaline's there. You feel good. But eventually, that fatigue playing back-to-back hard physical games, that's an issue.
And you mentioned it, their starters had to play the full game last night all the way to the buzzer, where Crown Point was able to rotate just about the entire roster in last night.
Yes, they did.
So the Bulldogs settle in the offensive zone, taking their time with Darrell.
If you're Coach Sexton, you say, you sit there and hold it all night.
Now
We'll keep it
left
game,
side.
keep it close.
Wilson to Darrell, off the back iron. Enyart battles for the rebound. Guides it to Becker. Now the freshman looks to break the two-man trap. Gets it to Aguilera. Aguilera scoots down the floor, but good coverage by Kingston Rhodes. He finds an outlet feed to Enyart. Left side Becker, his three-point attempt. Right down the middle. Hayden Becker with a three-point deposit gives the Indians an 18-16 lead.
What a big shot from a freshman, huh?
Now the Indians quickly go back to the defensive here as Peters handles on the right side for Crown Point. Peters stood up at the line. It skips its way to Mulaski. Wilson on the right side. The sophomore drives his way into the lane, serves it up, but there's a foul on the Indians.
Yeah, Coach Swan took Shaw out of the game. It kind of changes things. He's going to come back in, but they're kind of a different team with him not out there. You got, again, we talked about that yesterday, how they can go big and small with the depth on their bench.
So the first free throw attempt by Michael Wilson is good. Wilson, as we mentioned, had a couple free throw attempts earlier in the game where he went 1 for 2. He connects on the first, brings the Bulldogs within one. 4:23 left to play in the second quarter. Wilson goes 2 of 2 from the stripe to tie things at 18. Kroenke on the inbound, gets it to Enyart. He has Shaw right in front of him. Enyart spins to the right, gets the rock to Kroenke. It goes off his foot and rolls away. It'll be a Crown Point basketball just shy of mid-court, as there's a Kroenke as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Lake Central worked on that trap breaker, but that's the one place you don't want to inbound it. You don't want to inbound to the corner. It just starts bad and ends bad there. You want to try to stay inside the volleyball court.
Peters sends it to Kingston Rhodes. Back up top to Peters. He's looking left but cuts right. Now he floats it to Darrell. Fakes the three-pointer, drives inside the lane. Swings it up top to Peters. Peters at the line. Broken up by Martinez, and Lake Central's on the move. Martinez goes flying through the post, sends it high off the backboard, no good. Down the floor, Crown Point sends it to Peters. Corner three from Darrell. And that one's good. Mason Darrell with the left corner three gives the Bulldogs a 21-18 lead.
Big shot with a hand in his face there.
A turnover at midcourt. Martinez has it broken up by Darrell. Darrell to Rhodes. Banks it in for two.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Lake Central's got to have a game plan against that trap, because that's where Crown Point will score in bunches out of that trap, and you just got to avoid that as much as you can.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. Brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. The Indians now take a timeout, trailing 23-18. Is 3:22 left to play in the second quarter. This one, the momentum swinging back and forth. Lake Central had a lot of the energy early. And now, as we're about midway through the second quarter, it seems like the Bulldogs are getting a bit of a surge in their favor, and it's been the supporting cast doing it.
Yeah, again, with Kingston and the other guards, and Mason, like I said, Mason Darrell's playing with a lot of energy tonight, and really, again, you wonder when the energy from Lake Central is going to kind of fade a little bit because of that fatigue. And I know, kids are kids, and they're used to playing a bunch of games, but last night was an absolute brawl.
Here's Becker facing a two-man press from the Bulldogs. Becker squeaks by, works his way to the far corner, gets it to Aguilera, to Enyart at the top of the arc. Enyart finds Aguilera in stride, and he just tosses it in for two.
Nice cut.
Aguilera brings the Indians within 3, but then right down the floor, it's Rhodes with the foul, with the basket and the foul. It was actually Wilson, pardon me. He draws the contact down low, quickly adds those 2 points right back for the Bulldogs.
On the other end, that was a great cut. They passed the ball, and Shaw kind of stood up and relaxed on defensive end, and
so
that's how they got the basket cut.
Wilson completes the three-point play with the free throw as the Indians bring in Evan Geller to replace Enyart. As Geller makes his first appearance, we saw Geller with a couple big three-pointers in Tuesday's win. Kroenke down the floor to Aguilera, swims past the defender and rolls it in.
Nice move. Going off 2 feet there, Leo.
26-22, Crown Point leading by 4 with 2:45 to play in the first half. Here's Peters, lost it to Shaw at the elbow. Shaw has been held scoreless, gets it to Rhodes. Kingston takes it to the block, rolls it up and over, and then poked by Wilson. There will not be goaltending, so it will be a 2-point deposit. Wilson just jabbed it in off the rim.
It was on the rim, it looked like.
Aguilera with a corner three. Takes a high carom off the iron. He gets his own rebound, gets it to Billmeyer. So the Indians just have to shake that one off and try to work their way in as Billmeyer rolls it up. It spins off the rim, no good. Wilson on the right side. To Darrell, his deep three-pointer. Knocks it in, good. 31-22, the Bulldogs storming out to a 9-point lead here in the second quarter, and then Shaw forces a turnover at midcourt and brings the hammer with a right-handed slam.
Might need another timeout. Coach Sexton.
Dikembe Shaw with the steal at midcourt, puts his name on the score sheet with that dunk, and then it's Wilson with a turnover. Wilson takes flight with a two-handed slam. And the Bulldogs lead 35-22 off of a pair of turnovers and a pair of dunks with 1:29 left to play in the second quarter. Lake Central takes a timeout. They're trying to settle things down and try to work their way back before the break.
I know sometimes you try to play through it, but it's like making a pitching change. You'd rather do it too soon than too late.
As we take a look at the winner of this game gets the winner of the Chesterton-Valparaiso sectional championship. At the half, it's Chesterton leading 27-26.
Wow.
So 2 matchups between Duneland rivals tonight, and it's been an exciting week of basketball, and these 2 matchups tonight certainly have lived up to the hype.
But that Chesterton gym is hopping. The old battle of the bait shop down there on Meridian and Campbell.
Here's Geller trying to break the press, gets it to Enyart. 1:24 left to play as Enyart drives with a left-handed dribble, and he takes some contact from Wilson, and it'll be a foul on the Bulldogs.
You can tell that's what Lake Central's been wanting all night, and that's because of the defensive pressure that Crown Point's been putting on the ball handlers.
So 1:21 to go in the second quarter. Crown Point leads 35-22. Billmeyer and the Indians will inbound this one from the Bulldogs bench. Billmeyer scans the floor, finds Aguilera on the run. Geller sets the screen. Up top to Enyart. Enyart sends it right side to Martinez. He skips it to Geller, and Geller just quickly hands it right back to Martinez. Left side, Billmeyer. 1:06 left to play in the quarter. Aguilera on the front court, goes to Geller at the point. Geller, guarded by Shaw, moves the ball to Martinez. Martinez on the crossover, his three-pointer. Skips away off the rim. Geller tries to track it down in the corner. He gets it to Enyart, keeps it in play. Enyart serves it over the basket, but Aguilera is there. His second chance attempt is no good. Wilson nearly settles it down. And it's a Lake Central possession.
I love the hustle of Lake Central, though, right? You can't fault their effort.
No, they just had 3 really good looks off of that one attempt, and then Geller keeping it in play at the corner. Here's Enyart staying in bounds. His pass intended for Martinez was swatted away by Caden Rhodes. So now Lake Central adjusting position will inbound it from the front court as Mulaski returns to the floor for Crown Point. And Kroenke makes his way back onto the floor for Lake Central.
As we mentioned, Crown Point's going to play 8 or 9 guys, and there's not much fall off, and that does eventually weigh on the other team. It's kind of like in that semi-state level when you got to play 2 games in one day.
Corner 3 from Martinez, sends it high off the rim. Shaw gets to the rebound. Now Shaw cuts down the floor, gets it to Caden Rhodes. Rhodes swings it up top to Lux. His three-pointer off the back iron. KG pokes the rebound. It's still loose. Jumping on it is Martinez, and his momentum carries him out of bounds.
Again, great hustle by the Indians.
Martinez basically landed on top of the basketball and slid out past the baseline. Just a tough break for Lake Central. With 23 seconds left to play, Shaw will inbound it from the baseline for Crown Point. Shaw looking for a partner. Lofts one down the court to Caden Rhodes. He's got Kroenke on his tail, and now Rhodes takes over.
About 15 seconds here, Leo.
Rhodes skipping his way through the paint, banks it in for 2 with the right-handed layup. 37-22. Crown Point leads with 3 seconds to play. Kroenke
on the three-point shot.
He was trying another just inside half court, was trying that heave to the basket, and he was fouled.
That's his spot, Leo. That was about it. That was about his same location, wasn't it?
So now Cooper Kroenke will head to the line to shoot 2. Kroenke been averaging 8.2 points per game for the Indians this season. So Kroenke gets ready for the first of 2. The first free throw, no good. It rolls off. Both teams have subs that they're waiting to bring in. They'll wait for the second free throw from Kroenke. Kroenke drops that one in, so the subs will head in. Darrell for the Bulldogs, and then it's Carter and Becker, a pair of underclassmen for the Indians. Carter, a sophomore, Becker, a freshman. It's actually 3 free throws for Kroenke. He was fouled well beyond the three-point arc. So he goes 2 of 3 from the line. That helps, as it's now a 37-24 score with about 2 seconds left to play, 1.9 to be exact. Shaw will handle the inbound for the Bulldogs. Shaw takes a look down the floor, gets it to Rhodes. Rhodes just past midcourt, floats it to the basket. It was under the mark. It was short. That's how the first half will end. 16 minutes down, 16 to go. Crown Point leads 37-24 in this sectional championship over Lake Central. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll recap the first 2 quarters, help set the stage for the next 2. So stay tuned for that. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Hey, welcome into the Commissioner's Corner. It's our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, great time of year. You just wrapped up the girls basketball state finals over at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Process kind of resets now with the boys sectionals getting going, regionals soon, and then the state finals at the end of March. So let's just recap everything we saw from the girls' side. I know great attendance, some good ball games. How'd everything shake out in downtown Indy?
Well, anytime we're with our partners at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the Pacer Sports Entertainment, it's a great weekend, and it didn't disappoint. You know, we had 8 teams make the pilgrimage in Indianapolis and get to play in the best basketball facility in the country. And so we had the morning session, the 1 and 2A games. Weren't as close as we would like, but I think they were still competitive games. And so then we took a little break and came back for the 3 and 4A game, and those both were barn burners and really great attendance and good weekend to celebrate girls high school basketball in this great state.
Yeah, obviously things finished up for an undefeated season for Center Grove, which is spectacular. Obviously, we saw what Belmont did in 3A. But, you're giving out the medals, and I know it's a yearly occurrence, but what's it like for you just to see the faces when you present those medals and the celebration ensues? Because that's what's special of everything.
Yeah, it's first of all, I've given out a few medals in my career here at the IHSAA, and it never disappoints. I mean, it's certainly if they put the red one around their neck, they wish it was the blue. But as time moves on, they understand the accomplishment that team had, even though if they were in second place that day. But then to see the people, the student athletes get the medal, but the ones that I really enjoy are the bus drivers and the athletic trainers and the people that are around the team that have probably spent a lifetime within that school community. And today is their day to be able to celebrate with their girls, their coaches, and their town. And so it's really special to see those adults receive those medals also.
Sectional round of the boys tournament well underway, the regional round coming up here soon. And Paul, I know this is your wheelhouse. I mean, the hardwood is where you played on when your high school basketball career, and a lot of memories created. What is it about this time of year? And like you said, everybody plays a role, bus drivers, athletic trainers, student managers. But when you're actually getting to play in these high intense situations, what's that like?
Well, I think that's what you do. I mean, that's why you practice the game, why you love the game. And there's so many life lessons that people learn through the process of competing that carry them through the rest of their life. I often talk about those lessons being transformational, and they are transformational, but they're also transferable into everything else these student athletes are going to do. And many of them would not achieve great things without the ability to grow up in an education-based athletic system. And I'm so proud of the work that our coaches do and our communities do to help these students have a platform to grow.
You have any specific memories from playing in the sectional round and, just what that's like? Because oftentimes people say sectional is the hardest, section of this tournament to win.
Well, we didn't have a lot of success when I played, but, it was the prep where you got on the bus and you got to go practice at the facility and you had a special meal. Oftentimes people that had played at the school and past coaches, past athletes come back and speak to those sectional team. It's really everything that goes into preparing for that week. And, the game is important, but the memories are just as strong about everything else that goes into that preparation.
It's a lot happening this time of year. Of course, again, the girls basketball state tournament wrapping up. The boys basketball state tournament is just getting into its moments of intensity. And then we've also got girls gymnastics regionals coming up, followed by the girls gymnastics state finals. Those will be on March the 14th at Worthen Arena over at Ball State University. Paul, always love talking hoop. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again next week.
We'll talk to you soon, Brendan.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Stay with us after the game. We'll name the Proud to Be Union play of the game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. Go to ironworkers395.com to start your future as a union ironworker. We are at the half here at Crown Point where the Bulldogs lead over Lake Central 37-24. It was really a tale of two quarters in the first half, Doug, as Lake Central seemed to have a lot of the energy early on and were able to kind of stifle the Bulldogs' regular threats to score in that first quarter, but then the Bulldogs seemingly found a way to put points on the board, exploding to 27 points in the second quarter, and that's part of the reason they had the lead here at the half.
Yeah, you gotta praise Coach Sexton and his staff. He had his kids ready to play.
Yeah,
and they came out hard, and Crown Point, didn't match Lake Central's energy, early on. And sometimes when teams press, that also increases your team's energy. So just as we saw with those dunks and the quick baskets and transition, that's one reason why coaches sometimes do trap and press. But so that helped, I think, improve the energy of Crown Point there in the second quarter. But again, Coach Sexton had them really going hard, and they're still playing hard. They kind of mimic your coaching staff, and he's a gritty guy, and that's a gritty team. So they're fighting and trying to stay in it.
And you look at it, it's been you talk about the grit, too. It's been a group effort for Lake Central where it seems each possession it's somebody else who's been able to kind of score when needed to. We saw the freshman Hayden Becker nail a three-pointer. We've seen Aguilera with 6 points in the first half, and then Noah Enyart contributing 5. So it's just different players stepping up to help get it done for Lake Central.
Yeah, and on the defensive end, Jacob Billmeyer's done a great job of guarding Dikembe Shaw. Shaw's only got 2 points, that dunk in transition, and you could tell by his body language. He does not like the physicality of Billmeyer. So again, you can contribute without scoring. Right?
And on the other end of the floor, we've seen Crown Point, some of that contributing cast step up, but it's been Mason Darrell, another one of those top seniors, who's been helping lead the way with 12 points, including that big corner three to help take the lead at one point in the quarter.
And also, again, in the flip side for Crown Point is their defense.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, everything starts on the defensive end, and Kingston Rhodes is doing a great job of guarding the basketball and making life not enjoyable for the Lake Central backcourt.
So we will take one more break. When we come back, we will have the third quarter between Lake Central and Crown Point. So stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step towards your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Mayor Pete Land and the Crown Point Pace Department are proud to support Crown Point Athletics and Sago Bulldogs. Crown Point remains dedicated to preserving history, celebrating everyday life, providing the best in city services, and encouraging smart growth. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Crown Point during the annual lighted nighttime parade downtown. The festivities kick off with vendors downtown at 3 p.m. Tuesday, March 17th. The parade begins at dusk. For more information, visit crownpoint.info/St. Pat's. We are back here at Crown Point High School for the sectional championship between the Crown Point Bulldogs and the Lake Central Indians. Leo Staudaher and Doug Nelson with you on the call. Zach Miller and Martin Murillo Jr. round out the rest of our crew. So, Doug, as we get ready for the third quarter for the Bulldogs, what do they need to do to continue to preserve the lead? And for the Indians, what can they do to try to work a comeback here?
Well, I don't think Crown Point just wants to preserve the lead. I think they want to extend the lead, right? You know, you talk about people that are you can't coast here for 16 minutes and hope Lake Central doesn't come back. You gotta try to extend the lead, and if you're Lake Central, do what got you that first quarter. You know, you got to increase your energy and be patient on the offensive end and be strong with the basketball, because you know the Crown Point defense is going to be up in your grill.
So Crown Point starts with the basketball, wearing red uniforms with white numbers, attacking towards Lake Central wearing white uniforms with blue numbers. Rhodes gets it to Peters. Down low to Mulaski. He serves it up. No good. Rebounded by Enyart.
Got the ball there. He's got to make a nice, strong pivot and finish that play that close to the rim.
So now the Indians take it down the floor. Martinez weaves from right to left. Gets it to Aguilera in the front court. Across the floor to Billmeyer. At the wing to Martinez. Martinez had 2 points in the first half. He gets it to Enyart. He spins his way into the paint, and it's a travel. A travel as he was rocking from left to right. So the Bulldogs will take over.
Yeah, I think he kind of lost his balance in there. Nice 2-foot stop, but he kind of wobbled a little bit.
Here's Kingston Rhodes handling the ball for Crown Point. Gets it to Shaw. Up top, Mulaski. Left side, Peters. And there's a foul away from the basketball. Shaw and Billmeyer get tangled up.
Might be Billmeyer's third.
The foul's on Billmeyer, as you mentioned. That will be his third, as he's been engaged in the coverage with Dikembe Shaw.
Yeah, he drew the short card of having to guard an Indiana All-Star. That's much more athletic than you, but he's done a great job of it so far. Nice cut.
They quickly off the inbound get it to Rhodes. Rhodes leaps up and drops it in for two. 39-24, Crown Point leads as they draw first here in the third quarter.
He's an electric player, man, and he's so strong. He's so much stronger than he looks.
Billmeyer's pass broken up by Shaw. Shaw takes it down the floor. Shaw from the right side. He has Rhodes on the left. And Shaw and Billmeyer get tangled up. It will be a foul on Billmeyer, his fourth.
Yeah. That's that ball pressure I'm talking about, Leo. It just makes you uncomfortable, and it weighs on you.
So for Billmeyer, he will have to head off the floor. Becker will take his place. It'll be an inbound at the baseline for Crown Point. Just under 7 minutes to play in the quarter. Peters looking for a partner. Sends it to Darrell. Darrell at the point. Works his way into the lane. Swings it to Shaw. It pinballs around. It goes out of play. It will be a Crown Point basketball.
Yeah, I agree with Darrell there. He thought he got bumped, and from our angle, I think he did as well. But you just got to play through it.
Peters. Quick give and go with Mulaski. Peters to Mulaski at the baseline. Mulaski rolls it with the right hand. No good. Now down the floor. Crown Point, or Lake Central sends it to Martinez, who lays it in for two. Enyart saw the floor well, was able to send it to Martinez for that layup.
Yeah, you're not going to get a much more high percentage shot than Mulaski's getting right now.
Here's Shaw inside the arc. Shaw holds it low. Fires right side to Peters. His three-pointer off the front iron. Enyart gets the rebound and jabs it to Becker. Becker takes over and gets the ball to Enyart. Now Enyart moves over midcourt. Enyart on the crossover goes to the right-handed dribble drive. Stood up by Mulaski, but Enyart finds a way to drop it in for two.
He just went right through him, Leo. He went right through Mulaski's chest there. He didn't go through your chest, Leo. You're good. You're safe.
As it's Darrell to Shaw. Shaw tries to bring the hammer with the right-handed slam, but he's rejected by the rim. And the Indians take over. And Martinez quickly cuts through the defense and lays it in for two. The Indians are within 9, 39-30.
Yeah, if you make a mistake on one end, you can't compound it by making another on the other end and not hustling back. You got to get the ball back.
And now Rhodes brings it down low. Rhodes loses his balance, falls out of play. Lake Central will take over at their own baseline.
Yeah, Shaw's going to come out, and I'm sure that's Coach Swan's message. I'm okay with you missing the dunk, but you better get back and play defense. Back and you cost us 4 points right there.
Martinez just had a wide open lane to get to the basket for that layup. And here's Enyart bringing it over midcourt with a left-handed dribble drive. He stops on a dime, waits for his friends to meet up with him, sends it to the basket with the right hand. It goes off the back iron. It's retrieved by Mulaski, and the Bulldogs take over. Here's Peters through the post. Peters sends it low. Enyart to Kroenke. Now it's Martinez. Martinez has it knocked away by Darrell, but then it lands in the hands of Mulaski, and his foot was over the baseline. So Lake Central will retain possession here. Inbounding it in the offensive end of the floor. 5:07 to play in the third quarter. Crown Point leads 39-30.
I love the energy Lake Central still playing with. He got shoved out of bounds.
But it will be called out of bounds on Martinez on the Indians as Darrell, kind of gave him some contact, and that's what sent him out of play.
Yeah, he didn't just dribble out of bounds there.
But I guess the ref saw it differently, as it'll be a Crown Point basketball following that sequence. Here's Kingston Rhodes, sends it up top to Darrell. Darrell goes left side to Wilson. Wilson to Rhodes. Rhodes along the perimeter to Mulaski at the left wing. Mulaski swings it right side to Darrell. Step back three-pointer off the back iron, rebounded by Wilson. It was short though, Enyart gets the rebound to Kroenke. Kroenke finds Aguilera. Aguilera in the corner.
Oh, nice pass.
To Enyart. It was broken up by Darrell. The Bulldogs take over. Wilson through the lane. Skips his way to the basket, but no, there's a travel. It's a travel on the Bulldogs. And the Lake Central fans are loving that one.
Again, he's got to play through it, man. Play through it.
Kroenke to Aguilera. Finds Enyart. He crosses midcourt, trying to get past Molaski. Enyart to the basket, takes flight, and there's a foul. A foul down low on Darrell for blocking his path to the basket. It will send Enyart to the line.
Darrell's a guy we mentioned earlier in the year. He plays with great energy, and sometimes that can be his greatest asset, and sometimes that can be his biggest problem. And he almost got teched up there, Leo.
Right.
He slammed the floor, and
Enyart drains his first free throw, and Dikembe Shaw heads back onto the floor for Crown Points. 4 minutes, 13 seconds to play in the third quarter. The winner of this game gets the winner of the Chesterton-Valparaiso game. With 3.5 minutes to play in the third quarter, it's Chesterton leading 34-30. As now it's a 39-32 game as Enyart goes 2 for 2 from the line for Lake Central. Rhodes skips it to Shaw on the right side. Shaw connects with Darrell at the point. He finds Peters. Peters down low for Shaw. He's open and drains it for 2. Dikembe Shaw with the latest basket there for the Bulldogs. Here's Martinez for 3. Off the back iron. And Shaw gets that rebound as it rattles around. Shaw crosses midcourt. Feeds it forward to Darrell. He tries to toss it up under the basket, but it goes off the iron and out of play, where it's a Lake Central basketball.
I'm telling you, the thing I'm most impressed with is the grit of Lake Central right now.
Yeah.
They're hanging around, Leo. They're hanging around, still in the ball game. Yeah, as you said, they go maybe 2 guys on the bench, but I'm really impressed with their fight right now.
Martinez down the floor to Kroenke. Kroenke from the left side tries to angle past Shaw. Skips it to Enyart. And there's a foul on Darrell. Darrell got a piece of Enyart as he was trying to reel in that pass. For Darrell, that's his third. And the Indians will get to send it in from the baseline.
It's like Caden Rhodes is going to give Darrell a break here for a little bit.
So you have Bill Meyer in foul trouble for the Indians and Darrell in a bit of foul trouble for the Bulldogs. The inbound. Aguilera gets it to Enyart. His catch and release three-pointer from the corner. No good. Rebounded by Peters. Shaw takes over in the front court. Works it to the logo to Peters.
Now they're okay taking the air out of the ball here a little bit.
Yeah, Peters just standing tall here, looking for...
Everybody catch their breath.
Yep. As everybody's just standing still on the floor now.
Yep.
There's a Bulldog at all 4 corners of the zone. Now he sends it left side to Caden Rhodes. 3 on the left, 2 on the right for the Bulldogs. As they're again at a standstill. Rhodes breaks the pause, goes forward. It rattles around. Shaw gets the rebound. Lofts it up top to Kingston Rhodes. And then Rhodes is fouled as he drives to the basket.
Coach Sexton wants to travel. Rhodes kind of got a running start when he was attacking the rim. That's kind of hard to guard when you let a guy run like that. But again, it's hard. Real quick, Leo, it's hard when you slow down like that and just pull the ball out and then hurry up and try to get aggressive
try to speed
again.
Back up.
Yeah, it takes the energy out of the gym, and you just got. I would keep my foot on the gas, man.
Kingston Rhodes on his first free throw knocks it down. So Rhodes averaging just under 10 points a game for Crown Point. He has 5 tonight. Makes it a 10-point lead with his first free throw. He goes 2 for 2. Those are 2 big free throws for the Bulldogs as it felt like Lake Central was on one of those runs. Now they look to break the press. Kroenke heaves it down the floor to Enyart. Enyart blocked. No, there's a foul. A foul on Rhodes as he sends Enyart to the floor.
Good aggressive move.
Good vision by Kroenke to get it to Enyart, who was on the move there. As Enyart will head to the line to shoot 2. With 2:35 to play in the third quarter.
That's the best way to attack the press, is to attack it.
Right.
Don't wait for him to trap you. Don't wait for him to get off on you. You just attack it, and because there's an advantage there.
And Enyart, another one of those players who just has brought a ton of energy for Lake Central tonight, and using that to his advantage to help break the press, and he's rewarded with a trip to head to the line to shoot 2 here.
Yeah, again, I'm impressed with Coach Sexton and his staff, and you see his assistant coaches still trying to pump some oxygen and adrenaline into this team. And last time they played, it was a 40-point game.
Right.
I mean, it's just one of those things that we talked about. Coach Sexton, when he left Lake Central, said, if you don't think we're going to win or believe we're going to win, don't even get on the bus. There can't be a doubt in your mind we got a chance to win this thing tonight, and that's how they came out.
Enyart goes 2 of 2 from the line, makes it a 9-point game, 43-34 with 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter.
He walks.
And Shaw travels as he steps inside the arc. They'll give the basketball right back to Lake Central. Enyart off the inbound, has it jabbed away by Shaw. It spins into the crowd. It'll still be a Lake Central possession. They'll move a few feet forward to their own bench area for this next inbound. Kroenke has Rhodes in front of him. Gets it to Becker in the corner.
Nice
Becker
move.
to Enyart, down low. Swings it in from the left side. Nice pass from Becker, the freshman, to find the senior Enyart down low.
Nice job stealing, too. You're going to call it jump ball?
There's a jump ball as Rhodes and Kroenke became entangled down there. The arrow goes to the Indians as they've made it a 7-point game. Talk about how the momentum swings back and forth in this game. It seems like the Indians have a lot of it on their side here.
Yeah, they're attacking the press. I just love the energy. I can't get enough of Lake Central and how hard they're playing.
Now Enyart trying to break the press. Gets past Shaw. Enyart through the lane, dances his way up, but there's a foul. The basket was no good. It rolls off the front iron. But as he was driving through a pair of Bulldogs, one of them got him for the foul.
Yeah, if you're Crown Point defense, you can't allow the ball handler to bring it right down the chute. I know it's a trapping defense, but Enyart's going end to end, and no one's stopping the ball.
Enyart is now up to 14 points with that latest free throw. He'll stay at the line for another as he's brought the Indians a little bit closer. He goes 2 of 2, so he's been efficient with his looks at the line. Now with 15 points in the game, 43-38. Crown Point leads at the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter.
2-possession ball game here, Leo. No one here thought it was going to be very close. I can tell you that. At least if you're wearing red.
Peters in the left side front court. Minute 49. Crown Point again just standing still, catching their breath here.
Yeah, they'll play an 8-minute game down 5. They're okay with that.
The Lake Central fans don't seem to enjoy this strategy as they make their feelings heard here.
Yeah, their players are okay with it too. We're tired, Coach, and we're good. A little timeout on the court while the clock moving.
So just over 20 seconds have expired here.
Yeah, I think this feeds into Lake Central, not necessarily Crown Point.
Still standing still is Peters, cradling the ball with the right hand. Now he switches it up to his left hand. He has the ball on his left hip, just standing upright. And now the Lake Central fans making some noise.
Here come the shot clock fans. Zach's over here shaking his head. We need a shot clock in Indiana high school basketball. No, I don't think you do. I'm not for it.
46 seconds to play in the quarter as we get a chance to look at the Strachan Van Til scoreboard during this game with just over a minute to play in the third quarter. Chesterton leads Valparaiso 38-32. You haven't missed anything in this game as it's been just about a minute of Peters standing in the front court, hanging on to the basketball. It's been over a minute since we've even seen a dribble here. 20 seconds and counting to go. Bryce Peters still hanging on to the rock.
The one thing that Crown Point takes the last shot and they'll get the ball in the fourth quarter to start the quarter.
Now Peters drifts to the logo. We're back underway here. Peters gets it to Shaw in the paint, and Shaw drops it in for two.
Yeah.
That's how the third quarter will end. Bit of a wacky sequence there as Crown Point leads 45-38. 8 minutes left to go in this one. It's been fun here at Crown Point. We'll see what the fourth quarter has in store as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
We'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more information, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business, absolutely. Fourth quarter time at Crown Point, where the Bulldogs start with the basketball. As they have it on the right side, they send it to Peters on the left side. Crown Point leads 45-38. The winner of this game gets the winner of Chesterton and Valparaiso in the regional championship. That'll be played a week from today. Here's Peters. Peters in the front court. Cuts his way inside the arc, drives from the left side, swings it to the corner to Wilson for three. Off the iron. It's loose on the floor, and it gets knocked out of play as then Kroenke and Wilson both go tumbling to the floor.
Bill Meyer's coming back in with 4 fouls, Leo.
Bill Meyer, one of the top players for the Indians, with 4 fouls in the game. They'll take the risk here. As he highlighted him in the first half. He really helped make things go defensively for Lake Central. Here's Enyart on the right side. Enyart works his way, cuts back, guarded by Shaw. He dribbles with the right hand, protects with the left, and then Shaw knocks it to the floor. It rolls out of play. It's a Lake Central possession.
At some point, he's got to just pick it up and make a move. Too much dribbling. I know he's trying to back Shaw down. He's doing a good job of getting there. You got to make a move there. A little up and under or something.
Right side. Martinez was looking for Kroenke. He was a little bit ahead of him, but he chases it down. And then Enyart's open underneath the basket. Lets it fly with the right hand. It rattles around and falls through. Enyart brings the Indians within 5. 45-40. Crown Point leads. Rhodes down low, blocked by Aguilera. The Indians are on the move for a 3-on-2. Becker, or that was Martinez, who's fouled by Peters. A defensive foul taken by the Bulldogs. Peters. And now the Bulldogs take a timeout with 6:43 left to go in the fourth quarter. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Mayor Pete Land and the Crown Point Pace Department are proud to support Crown Point Athletics and Sago Bulldogs. Crown Point remains dedicated to preserving history, celebrating everyday life, providing the best in city services, and encouraging smart growth. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Crown Point at the annual nighttime parade downtown. Festivities kick off at 3 o'clock. For more information, visit crownpoint.info/St. Pat's. Leo Staudaher, Doug Nelson with you Zach Miller and Martin Murillo make up the rest of the crew, as we've had a exciting game here at Crown Point between the Bulldogs and the Indians of Lake Central. Right now it's Crown Point leading 45-40, but the Indians are playing with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm from their fans. They're a bounce here, a bounce there from being right back in this one.
2-possession ball game with the ball. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more if you're Coach Sexton and the LC fans.
The inbound goes to Enyart. He draws a double team. He emerges with it, but then the ball gets knocked out of play. It's a Lake Central ball.
You can't put the ball above your head. You know, we've said before, this is the universal sign for trap me. Don't put the ball above your head. Be strong with the ball. Put it at your hip and attack it.
6:38 to go. Martinez on the inbound. Has Aguilera cutting towards the corner. Sends it short side to Enyart. Enyart has Shaw in front of him. At the wing, handoff to Martinez. He releases a three-pointer.
Oh, big shot, Leo.
Martinez nails the three-pointer. Brings the Indians within 2.
We got a ball game.
45-43. Crown Point leads with 6 minutes and change left to go.
He threw him down. He just threw him on the ground.
Shaw knocks Martinez to the floor, and then Shaw goes down to the floor after the basket.
I don't.
There was a lot of contact away from the ball down there.
Shaw just threw Bill Meyer on the ground, literally. 2 hands. I don't know.
And now Shaw is limping his way off the floor. Was there wasn't a foul called on either side there?
No, there's no foul.
Housekeeping here, but
when Shaw came down, he landed on Bill Meyer because he threw him on the ground. That's usually a pretty good sign.
Yeah, as now Shaw will go get checked up on by the trainer. It's a 47-43 lead for Crown Point. Now without their leading scorer, though, as Enyart down low just has it roll off the rim. The Bulldogs take over. Rhodes goes down the floor.
I think if you're LC, you got to keep up the ball pressure.
Rhodes moves it to Peters. Left side, Darrell. And then Kroenke gets in his way, breaks it up. It goes out of play. But Kroenke didn't back down there.
Kroenke, great help side defense there.
It's just under 6 minutes left to play. The Bulldogs lead by 4. Peters sends it in the corner to Darrell. He weaves his way along the baseline, gets it to Mulaski. Up top, Kingston Rhodes to Darrell on the left side. Wilson swings it to Peters. They quickly move it from left to right. Mulaski to Wilson. Left side, Rhodes. Rhodes spins his way in the post. Gets it to Darrell up high. Right side, Mulaski. Back to Darrell at the point.
Great patience here by the Bulldogs. Good half-court defense by Lake Central.
Darrell takes over. Sends it to Rhodes in the corner. He works along the baseline. To Wilson on the left side.
That's a charge.
Wilson sends it up with the right hand.
Yep. He called it a charge.
But it's a charge on the Bulldogs. And now, did we just have a tech?
No.
Or
they just made it official.
Okay. (47-43) with 5 minutes to go. Lake Central has possession as Enyart has it on the far side. Enyart moves over midcourt, gets it to Aguilera. Now Aguilera waits for something to develop for the Indians. Skips it towards Martinez. It's nearly broken up by Wilson, but then Wilson goes rolling out of bounds with the basketball.
And that was a well-scouted play. That's a clear out. We talked about that last night, that little Iverson cut over the top, and Enyart was sealing in the post.
Martinez lofts it in the air for Enyart. Mulaski swats it away. Rhodes down the floor to Wilson, and then Wilson lays it in for 2.
Yeah, if I'm Crown Point, I'm keeping on my trap. I'm going to keep my trap on. You can't let Lake Central get comfortable here in the half-court offense.
It's a 49-43 lead for the Bulldogs.
You see the ball pressure is not even that hard right now.
And there's a foul called on Crown Point. Wilson was hanging on to Aguilera. He's called for the foul away from the ball. And so they will bring in reinforcements in Caden Rhodes, because Wilson has 3 fouls.
We got Caden and Kingston Rose on the court. 2 little spark plugs.
Martinez sends it down the floor for Aguilera. It's poked away by Darrell. And we'll see here, it should still be a Lake Central basketball as Darrell tried to chip it towards Aguilera, but I don't think he got the bounce he needed on that. So Aguilera will inbound it from the baseline. Throws it towards Enyart, but they send two at him. Darrell wrestles it away. Darrell takes flight and slams it down. So Darrell with the dunk makes it a 51-43 lead for Crown Point, as then a timeout is taken by Lake Central as they enter the offensive zone. 4 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. The Bulldogs lead 51-43. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
And we're back here at Crown Point with 4 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter, and what's been a thriller here between the Bulldogs and the Indians. And the winner of this game goes to the regional championship, when they'll face the winner of the Chesterton-Valparaiso game, and what's also been a good matchup. And you can follow along both of these games across all our platforms at the Region Sports Network, as we're just about 4 minutes away from the conclusion of this one. We'll see if the Indians can continue working their way back in, as Enyart from the baseline gets it to Kroenke, and he rolls it in with a left hand.
Two-possession game.
51-45 at the 4-minute mark. Here's Kingston Rhodes to Darrell. Darrell with 14 points for the Bulldogs.
That's a travel. Coach Sexton wanted it.
And work it to Mulaski. Left side, Peters. Peters fakes the step right, and then instead just passes it to Caden Rhodes.
Kembe Shaw's not even on the bench right now, Leo.
Yeah, we saw him limp off the court and head to the training room, as the Bulldogs will have to do it without their leading scorer. Here's Darrell to Peters on the left side. Peters hanging on. Now Peters powers forward. Stops in the post, cuts back, up top to Caden Rhodes.
Like they're denying. Coach Jackson wants you guys to deny one pass away.
Rhodes through the lane. Serves it up and good.
That's the problem you run into. Rhodes can finish so well around the rim, even being as small as he is, because he plays through guys because of his strength.
So Rhodes makes it an 8-point game, 53-45. Enyart working his way towards Mulaski. Spins and scores. Enyart with 19 points. Leads all scorers in this game.
They're trading their defense. They're going to go 1-3-1 defense here, Leo, to try to get some traps somewhere.
Here's Kingston Rhodes at the logo. 2:36 left to play.
Ooh.
Rhodes with the left-handed dribble, switches up to the right.
5-second count. There it is.
So the Indians will take over. They'll inbound it from the far side.
Just a different look.
Billmeyer on the inbound, looking for a partner. Gets it to Enyart. Enyart scans the floor, crosses midcourt. 2:24 left to play. The Bulldogs lead by 6. Enyart working his way in the right post. Has two red jerseys in front of him. Billmeyer swings it to Kroenke. He pulls up for three. Yes!
We got a one-possession game, Leo, with 2 minutes left. Wow. They're going to stay in that 1-3-1 half-court trap, Leo.
53-50. Crown Point leads just under 2 minutes.
Michael Bradner is on the edge of his seat right now, Zach.
Here's Kingston Rhodes on the left side. He plays catch in the front court with Peters. Goes to Peters again on the far side. to Caden Rhodes at the elbow. Up top to Kingston.
Big
His
shot.
three-pointer.
No.
Off the back iron.
Wow.
The rebound. Grabbed by the Indians. Billmeyer has it. To Enyart. 90 seconds to play. Enyart down low.
Oh.
And there's a foul on the Bulldogs.
He called it on the floor. So they're going to take the ball out of bounds. He's not getting free throws, it doesn't look like.
So we'll see where. This will be from the baseline. The foul is on Molaski, his first, team's fourth.
And Shaw's back on the bench, but he's not able to play, it doesn't look like.
And the Bulldogs will bring Wilson into the mix here. Takes the place of Caden Rhodes. 1:26 left to go. Lake Central trails by 3. They'll be inbounding it from the baseline. Aguilera throws it to Billmeyer just past midcourt. Billmeyer surges forward at the logo. Here it gets it to Enyart. Enyart with his three-point attempt. A little bit off the mark, rebounded by Wilson, and the Bulldogs take over. With a minute 12 left to play.
Didn't need that yet. There's a little forced.
And Kroenke will wrap up Peters and foul him to send him to the line. So Bryce Peters.
Are they in the bonus?
Trying to get a look at the scoreboard, but it's obstructed from our angle, the one that has the fouls on it. So we'll see here. They are not in the bonus. So Darrell will inbound it from midcourt. 1:05 left to play. Here's Peters. Peters crosses the logo, gets it to Rhodes. Back to Peters in the front court. Peters has Kroenke shadowing him. Now Peters takes it to the elbow. To Kingston Rhodes. Down low.
Oh.
You can count the basket and the foul as Rhodes heads to the line with a chance to make this a 6-point game with the and one.
Great attacking play, and we've said it both of the Rhodes brothers, they play so well around the rim going through guys.
So the foul brings Kingston Rhodes to the line to shoot. His team leads 55-50 with 52 seconds left to play. Rhodes has 8 points in the game. The free throw rolls away into the hands of Billmeyer. Billmeyer takes over.
Got to go quick.
Gets it to Aguilera. He crosses midcourt to Enyart. Enyart takes it to the lane. Goes past Molaski. His layup no good. But then it's Martinez there to collect the rebound and drop it in for 2. So Martinez brings the Indians within 3. 55-52 with 36 seconds to go. There's a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here as both coaches, Ryan Sexton of Lake Central and Clint Swan of Crown Point, will try to make sure they make the proper adjustments here in the huddles.
I believe Coach Sexton and Lake Central are out of timeouts, right? I believe that. I believe they used 3 in the first half, right? And they used 2 in the second half. So right now you're trying to pinpoint who you want to get the ball and who you want to foul. You want to deny, but right now, if you're Lake Central, you want to make this game last as long as you can. You want to drag it out and maybe trade 2 for 3 or maybe 1 for 3 and get to send Crown Point to the free throw line. But you don't want to let too much time go off the clock here.
So we've seen just a tremendous effort from Lake Central here. They've been led by 19 points from Noah Enyart, 13 points from Christian Martinez. Do they have another stop in them, a stop and a score? We'll see what they can do here as the Bulldogs. They've been led by 14 points from Mason Darrell, 12 points from Michael Wilson. And they have Dikembe Shaw at the end of the bench. We saw him leave with an injury earlier. So they'll look to try to find a way to take some time off the clock here. Rhodes into Wilson, back to Rhodes. And there's a foul away from the ball on Aguilera. So Aguilera tagged for his first foul.
How many team fouls? Third.
Team's third. So here's Peters on the inbound, right near midcourt, and then Darrell and Kroenke go down to the floor. See the foul is on Kroenke of Lake Central.
It's not the worst thing that can happen. You're fouling without the clock moving.
Right.
It's not a bad thing, really. They're claiming that Darrell was kind of holding him and pulling him down, but
Peters gets it to Rhodes. Rhodes loses his dribble, recovers, gets it to Mulaski, but it's behind him. Mulaski keeps it in play, but Becker gets it. Becker gets it for Lake Central, and now the Indians have it with 22 seconds.
with no timeouts here, Leo. They got to go.
Enyart hands it to Aguilera. They trail by 3, 55-52. Crown Point leads. It squeaks away, poked away by Peters. It goes to the bleachers. The Indians will get to inbound it from the far side. They're going to bring Bill Meyer back into the mix. Bill Meyer takes Becker's play, but Becker made a great play in the defensive end. The freshman stepped up big for the Indians.
Watch out for a lob play on this side. They ran it a little bit in the first half.
12 seconds to go. Bill Meyer will initiate the inbound.
Here it is.
Bill Meyer fires far side. Wilson gets it, but then Aguilera wrestles it away. Aguilera tools it off of Rhodes.
Yeah. They knew it was coming, Crown Point. They scouted that, you could tell, but they used that earlier in the first half.
So now it's a Lake Central basketball just in front of their bench. Bill Meyer will initiate the inbound here. Bill Meyer has Darrell just in front of him.
Got to have a three.
He gets it in the corner to Kroenke. His three-pointer off the front iron. No good. The Bulldogs get to it. Rhodes got the rebound, and then he was fouled by Kroenke. Kroenke with that step to his left and then released the three-pointer. It goes off the front iron.
I think that sound you heard was a loud exhale from the Crown Point coaching staff and community. That was a great look for Lake Central there.
So here is Kingston Rhodes at the line to shoot 2. He converts on the first. Makes it a 4-point game with 3.6 seconds left to play. And now we'll see with the timeout just what the Bulldogs, how they want to play this scenario.
They don't got to do anything.
Right.
They literally have to do nothing. Lake Central can't stop the clock. It's a 2-possession game. Get out of the way, let them go score. Game's over. It's game over.
So Rhodes now up to 12 points with that made free throw. Makes it a 4-point game, 56-52 as the Indians break their huddle. Crown Point still talking things over.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put anybody on the line up there. I would bring all my guys back here. There they come. And just stay out of the way. There's nothing Lake Central can do here.
So it'll be Rhodes, the only man in red in the offensive zone at the free throw line here. His free throw, rolls it in. Bill Meyer inbounds to Kroenke. He pulls up from half court. It's short, and that'll do it. The Bulldogs win their third consecutive sectional championship, as there were some extracurriculars after the buzzer there, but the Bulldogs defeat the Indians 57-52. To win the sectional championship.
What a hard-fought win for Crown Point. There's no one, again, like I said, the coaches knew it. The coaches knew it wasn't going to be easy. The kids are like, oh, we beat them by 40. It's never easy. It's not supposed to be easy, But, hey, kudos to Coach Sexton and his staff and his guys. My goodness, they played their tails off, and they had a shot at the end to tie it. What else could you ask for? But, hey, 3 in a row for Crown Point.
Yeah.
But it's look at them. Are they celebrating? They know they were in a dogfight right there.
The Bulldogs hang on to beat the Indians 57-52 in front of their home fans. But for Lake Central, their season ends at 13-12, but they certainly went out with a big fight here against the Bulldogs. While Crown Point improves to 22-1, they'll face the winner of the Chesterton-Valparaiso game. We're still waiting on a final score from that one, as we will have some post-game hardware to hand out momentarily, as the Bulldogs will be cutting down nets and celebrating with their home fans. And we'll see as the trophy being handed out now to the captains from Crown Point.
It's a weird vibe. It's like you just won a sectional, but it was like they know. They know.
They
got out of a scare there.
Nearly lost it at the end. You think about that play the Indians had, that three-pointer that just fell short. That was a close call for the Bulldogs, certainly.
They're going to get out the ladder so they can cut the nets.
So we will have our post-game awards coming up momentarily, as well as it was a fun one here at Crown Point, and two conference rivals meeting in back-to-back years in the postseason, too. That's 2 years in a row that now the Bulldogs have defeated Lake Central, put an end to their season, and they will continue their path forward in search of the program's first state title, and we'll see what the road down the state tournament has in store for the Bulldogs.
Well, I'll tell you, and again, congratulations to Crown Point. Winning one's never easy, let alone 3 in a row. We hope Dikembe Shaw's healthy, but they're going to have to play a much better next couple of weeks if they want to get where they want to be.
Absolutely, as it's certainly never easy to win in the postseason, and we saw that today. Just because you beat a team in the regular season, it's a completely different game in March.
The records mean absolutely nothing.
So we take a look at that Chesterton-Valparaiso game. At the end of the third quarter, it's Chesterton leading 38-34, so they still have a lot of basketball left to play, and that's another close one. A Valparaiso team that's had a lot of bumps in the road this season, and Chesterton meeting in a close game in their sectional championship.
Yeah, you can see Coach Swan is down there telling them, enjoy the evening. Enjoy the evening. They know it's a weird, like I said, it's a weird feeling,
right?
Isn't it? It's not even like, it's like you don't see like jubilation. You see like a whoo. It's like they just got finished with a 12-round boxing match.
And not to say that you want this to happen in the sectional round, but a bit of a wake-up call early in the tournament that you could, in theory, learn from this and
you survive it.
Right.
That's the whole key. Whether it's 100-0 or 100-99, the scoring margin doesn't matter. You're advancing.
Right.
You're not putting your uniforms away yet, so they're happy, but they know they gonna have to play much better to advance in the tournament next weekend against either Chesterton or Valpo.
As we certainly saw several players step up. It was Mason Darrell leading the way with 14 points for the Bulldogs, and Michael Wilson added 12, and kind of with Shaw being sidelined even before the injury, was held to single-digit points. It was a lot of different players had to step up and score for Crown Point down the stretch.
Yeah, again, Kingston Rhodes, he stepped up and had 10 and had points.
A couple really timely baskets.
Timely baskets and timely stops too, and again, just a group effort, and that's what makes them so strong. Is they have, like we said, they have 8 or 9 guys that can really get after it.
So as the players continue to cut the nets, we will get things started here with some of our post-game awards, as it's time to name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies have offices open from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock Monday through Friday, and Saturdays till 2 o'clock in Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City. And so the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game tonight was...
Superhero? I say Mason Darrell. Crown Point. He played with great energy, and he picked it up where, Dikembe Shaw had an off night tonight, and, Mason Darrell was all over the place, made great plays, made good plays on both ends of the floor, took a charge, I believe, and he was everywhere. So that's why he's our, your playmakers need to come up and make plays in big games, and he did that. So that's why he's our superhero of the game.
Keeping things rolling, it's time to name the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. The blue-collar player of the game tonight was... I'm
going to go with, he's a senior from Lake Central, Jacob Billmeyer. I thought he did a great job of guarding Dikembe Shaw. He was very physical. He kind of dictated where Shaw got the basketball, and he's given up size and athleticism, but he really proved and showed some grit tonight, and that's why he's our blue-collar player of the game.
And you kind of saw it, too, even when they put him back in the game when he had 4 fouls. He didn't change his game at all. He still played some really good defense, made some good passes, despite the foul trouble. So that was certainly a good effort from Bill Meyer and the rest of the seniors from Lake Central. Certainly they really put out a great effort in what became their final game of the season. But these Lake Central players were certainly ready for tonight's contest.
I could not be more impressed with Lake Central and how hard they played. You know, again, last time these guys played each other, it was a 40-point game,
right.
Leo. And they had the lead in the first quarter. They didn't, you know, and Crown Point made a run, you know, in the second quarter, but Lake Central hung with it. You know, there were a couple times they could have said, okay, well, we had a good night, we tried, but they fought for 32 minutes, and I think that's so impressive. And you can almost tell by the reaction of Crown Point. They knew they got outworked tonight.
Yeah.
They got outworked. And so kudos to Lake Central here tonight.
And taking a look at, there were a lot of standout plays tonight. It's time to name the Proud to be Union play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. And tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game tonight was.
I'm going to go. There's a couple of good choices, but in the second quarter, we had a Dikembe Shaw steal and dunk, and a Wilson steal and dunk.
Yeah.
And at that time, that was Lake Central. Crown Point was getting back in the lead, and that you know, real quick 10-15 second spurt kind of pushed Crown Point over the edge, and Lake Central was playing from behind the whole time.
Yeah, that was a really one of those big.
It was a big energy moment.
Yeah,
you know,
in the game where there's those two plays at kind of mid-court seemed to swing things in favor of Crown Point, and that was when they had that explosive 27-point second quarter, and those were two of the exclamation points from that one.
For sure.
Those were tonight's Ironworkers 395 plays of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395, Union Strong. So as we get ready to wrap things up, Doug, a couple final thoughts from tonight's game.
Again, first of all, congratulations to Coach Swan and his staff. He's been doing it so long. He deserves it. His staff works. And you can tell they scouted, a Duneland Conference opponent. They knew each other in and out. And, congrats to them. Good luck to them as they move forward. And they're seniors. They got a bunch of very talented seniors, and they deserve it. But I'm really, really, really excited about Lake Central. Coach Sexton did an amazing job. I just love their energy. I love the energy. I love they didn't back down. They didn't quit. Again, they could have came in and kind of hoped to hang around, and they didn't. They thought they had a real shot, and they did right down to the very end. So congrats to both teams, and what a fun sectional. It was a fun time here at Crown Point.
And for the Indians, you had a couple underclassmen make some plays as well, so some stuff to be excited about there. And certainly, last night's game, that's one of the thrillers, too, for the Indians, so with that buzzer beater, and a lot to be proud of from this Lake Central
Yeah,
group.
it's hard to acknowledge everyone, but another guy, Noah Enyart, I have to acknowledge that guy.
Yeah.
My goodness, he was backing guys down. He was everywhere. He ended up with 19, leading scorer of the night of the game, and he could have been an award winner. But I was very impressed with a lot of their guys and their grit, and that's hard to find these days, Leo, in young people, and collective grit, and they showed it, and that's why their program's going in the right direction, and they'll be back. They'll be back in this game.
Certainly a lot to be proud of for both teams tonight as the state tournament is officially underway after what's been a fun week of basketball. It'll be exciting to see where things take us the next couple weeks across the Region Sports Network, and certainly we will be excited to bring the coverage of some big matchups down the stretch. So as the players continue to cut down the nets and celebrate with their teammates and fans, we will take some quick time to thank everyone involved with our broadcast tonight. To our management team at Region Sports, Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and Mike Dewan. To my broadcast partner, Doug Nelson. To our producer, Zach Miller, doing an outstanding job of getting us on the air and keeping us there all night long. Martin Murillo was working the camera tonight, had a lot of action to capture, and did a great job doing that throughout the game. And to the coaches of each side, Ryan Sexton of Lake Central and Clint Swan from Crown Point. The athletic directors, Chris Enyart of Lake Central and Bill Girola of Crown Point. They were also our host site this week at the sectional, so thanks for all of their accommodations. and to the viewers across all of our platforms at the IHSAA Champions Network, regionsports.com, YouTube/regionsports, and Facebook/Region Sports Nation. This is Leo Staudaher thanking you for watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.